In the small, bustling town of Mombasa, Kenya, life was filled with the vibrant sounds of people, the scent of freshly cooked street food, and the laughter of children playing. Yet, in one quiet corner of the town, Hazel's heart was heavy. Hazel had always dreamed of a happy family. When she married Theodore, she believed their love would conquer anything. But after years of trying for a child without success, their marriage became strained. Theodore wanted a big family, and with each passing year without a child, his disappointment grew. One fateful evening, Theodore sat Hazel down. His face was stern, his eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and frustration. "Hazel," he began, his voice heavy, "I can't live like this anymore. I want children, and it's clear we can't have them together." Hazel's heart shattered. She tried to hold back her tears as she replied, "Theodore, we can adopt. We can still have a family." But Theodore shook his head. "No, Hazel. It's not the same. I need my own children. I'm sorry." With that, he packed his bags and left, disappearing into the night. Hazel was left alone in their empty house, the echoes of his departure haunting her. Life was tough after Theodore left. Hazel faced whispers and pitying looks from neighbors and friends, but she was strong. She refused to let the pain of Theodore's departure define her. She threw herself into her work, becoming one of the most respected weavers in Mombasa, her colorful fabrics admired by many. Years went by, and Hazel's heart began to heal. One day, while visiting her grandmother in a remote village, she met an elderly woman named Mama Njeri. Mama Njeri had a warm smile and eyes that seemed to see into Hazel's soul. "You carry a heavy burden, child," Mama Njeri said softly, her voice like a gentle breeze. "But remember, life is full of surprises. Sometimes, what seems like the end is just a new beginning." Hazel didn't understand at first, but Mama Njeri's words stayed with her. She continued to focus on her weaving, finding joy in the vibrant patterns and colors she created. 15 years passed since Theodore had left. One morning, as Hazel opened her shop, a small boy with big, curious eyes ran up to her. He had a broad smile and an infectious energy that made Hazel's heart swell with joy. "Hello, Mama," he exclaimed, hugging her tightly. This was Oliver, her son, who had entered her life in the most unexpected way. 2 years after Theodore left, Hazel discovered she was pregnant. She had cried tears of joy and disbelief, feeling the miracle of life growing inside her. Oliver was everything she had ever hoped for, and more. He was smart, kind, and full of questions about the world. Hazel often found herself marveling at how much love one small boy could bring into her life. One sunny afternoon, Hazel decided to take Oliver to the local market. The air was filled with the scent of spices, fresh fruits, and the sound of people bargaining. As they wandered from stall to stall, Oliver's laughter echoed through the market, drawing smiles from those around them. Suddenly, Hazel's heart skipped a beat. Standing just a few feet away, looking older and more worn, was Theodore. He was speaking with a vendor, but as he turned, his eyes locked onto Hazel and Oliver. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Theodore's face went pale, his eyes widening in shock. He took a hesitant step forward, his gaze fixed on Oliver. "Hazel?" he called out, his voice trembling. Is that your son?" Hazel felt a wave of emotions crash over her: surprise, anger, and a deep, unspoken sorrow. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. "Yes, Theodore," she replied, her voice strong but calm. This is Oliver, my son. Theodore's eyes filled with regret and confusion as he looked from Hazel to Oliver. The weight of the years and his decisions seemed to bear down on him in that moment. He took another step closer, his voice barely a whisper. "Can we talk?" Theodore and Hazel found a quiet spot away from the bustling market. Oliver, sensing the tension, stayed close to his mother, his eyes wide with curiosity. Theodore looked at Oliver, then back at Hazel, struggling to find the right words. "Hazel, I never thought." His voice trailed off, and he shook his head, trying to process the sight before him. "I thought we couldn't have children." Hazel met his gaze steadily. "Life has its own plans, Theodore. After you left, I discovered I was pregnant. Oliver is a miracle I never expected." Theodore's eyes softened as he looked at Oliver. "He's beautiful," he said quietly, a hint of sadness in his voice. "I'm sorry, Hazel, for everything." Hazel nodded, feeling a mix of emotions swirling within her. "It's been a long time, Theodore. We both moved on. But Oliver and I are happy. That's what matters." Theodore's expression grew serious. "I know I can't change the past, but can I be a part of his life now? Can I get to know my son?" Hazel felt her heart tighten. She had to protect Oliver, but she also saw the genuine remorse in Theodore's eyes. She looked at her son, who was watching them intently, and knew this was a decision that would shape their future. Hazel's mind raced as she tried to process Theodore's request. Memories of their past together flooded back, mixed with the pain of his departure and the joy Oliver had brought into her life. She knew she had to think not just of herself, but of Oliver's well-being. "Oliver," she said softly, kneeling to be at eye level with her son. "This man, his name is Theodore. He's someone I knew a long time ago." Oliver's eyes, wide with curiosity, looked from Hazel to Theodore. "Hi, Mr. Theodore," he said, his voice filled with the innocence only a child could have. Theodore's eyes glistened with tears as he smiled at Oliver. "Hello, Oliver," he replied, his voice choked with emotion. I'm very happy to meet you." Hazel took a deep breath and turned back to Theodore. "If you want to be part of Oliver's life, you must understand that it won't be easy. Trust takes time to rebuild. You hurt us, and I need to protect my son." Theodore nodded, understanding the weight of his past actions. "I know, Hazel. I don't expect forgiveness overnight, but I want to try. I want to make up for the time I've lost." Over the next few weeks, Theodore made an effort to become part of Oliver's life. He would visit Hazel's shop, bringing small gifts for Oliver and engaging in conversations with him. At first, Hazel watched cautiously, her heart guarded. But as she saw the joy in Oliver's eyes when he talked to Theodore, she began to soften. One day, Theodore invited Hazel and Oliver to a picnic by the beach. The sun was warm, and the gentle breeze carried the salty scent of the ocean. As they sat on the sandy shore, Theodore shared stories of his travels and adventures, making Oliver laugh with tales of wild animals and distant lands. Hazel found herself smiling too, remembering the Theodore she had once loved. The years had changed them both, but in that moment, surrounded by the beauty of Mombasa's coastline, they found a sense of peace and connection. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Theodore turned to Hazel. "Thank you for giving me this chance," he said sincerely. "I know it can't be easy for you." Hazel nodded, feeling a sense of closure she hadn't expected. "It's not about easy, Theodore. It's about what's right for Oliver. He deserves to know his father, and I see how much you care about him." As the months went by, Theodore became a more integral part of their lives. He and Hazel found a new rhythm, co-parenting Oliver and creating new memories. They were no longer the same people they had been 15 years ago, but they had found a way to move forward. One evening, as they sat together watching Oliver play with his friends, Theodore turned to Hazel with a thoughtful expression. "I want to apologize again, Hazel, for leaving you, for the pain I caused. I thought I knew what I wanted, but I was wrong." Hazel looked at him, her eyes filled with both sadness and understanding. "We were both hurt, Theodore, but we can't change the past. We can only focus on what we have now." Theodore nodded, reaching out to gently squeeze her hand. "Thank you for giving me this chance, for being strong." Hazel smiled, feeling a sense of relief and acceptance. "We've come a long way, Theodore, and for Oliver's sake, I'm glad we did." Life settled into a new normal for Hazel, Theodore, and Oliver. They celebrated birthdays together, attended Oliver's school events, and shared meals as a family. The bond between them grew stronger, built on forgiveness and a shared commitment to Oliver's happiness. One day, as they walked through the bustling market together, Oliver holding both Hazel's and Theodore's hands, he looked up at them with a bright smile. "I love our family," he said simply, his words filling their hearts with warmth. Hazel and Theodore exchanged a look, both feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey they had taken. They had faced their past, embraced their present, and were ready to build a future together, not as the couple they once were, but as a family united by love and resilience. As the sun set over Mombasa, casting a golden glow over the town, Hazel felt a profound sense of peace. She had found her happiness, not in the way she had originally imagined, but in a way that was even more beautiful and unexpected. Years later, Oliver would grow up knowing the full story of his parents' journey. He would understand that life is full of challenges and that love sometimes takes unexpected turns. But most importantly, he would know that even when things seem broken beyond repair, there is always hope for healing and new beginnings. Hazel and Theodore's story was a testament to the power of second chances and the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the heart of Africa, they found their way back to each other, creating a tapestry of love and forgiveness that would inspire those around them for years to come.